How's it going, guys? It's Josh here with Buckeye Bowhunter, and today I got part 2 of my Lone Wolf Custom Gear Double Steps mods video. In the first part, I showed you guys how to put the stealth strips on the sticks. In this part 2, I'm going to show you guys all about these Amsteel rope mods I made. So they're pretty cool. They wrap up just like so on the stick. It allows you to still stack the sticks together pretty well. There will be a little gap here at the end because obviously however thick the rope is, this is 1/4 inch Amsteel. They got a little bungee here. It's a pretty cool little setup, and it's about as compact as you can get unless you use thinner rope. Now, I don't have any experience with thinner rope doing the buckless method, so do it at your own risk. This is 1/4 inch Amsteel, like I said. Last season, running these, I used the original Lone Wolf Custom Gear straps without the buckle on them for most of the year, and they worked fine for most of the time. Super safe, super secure, really easy to put on and off the tree. The knot that you gotta tie is very simple and easy to do in the dark. But the problem with the Lone Wolf straps was that they're too short. I think they're only like 5.5 feet long. So obviously I ran into a couple times where there was a tree with the base too big, couldn't fit the strap around them. So that's the whole point of these mobile setups. You know, you gotta be able to get into any tree that you want to hunt out of, so you're in the right spot, right? That's how we kill deer. These Amsteel rope mods, you can make them as long as you want. If you're gonna make them yourself, I made a few different sizes. I think the top ones, the ones I'll use on my top steps, are about just at 7 feet, and then they get longer towards the bottom. I think my bottom step, I got one that's just under 9 feet. So just to get rid of a lot of the excess rope, I didn't really need all of them to be, you know, 8.5 foot long, because that is a pretty long rope. But with that said, I'll show you guys how I made these. Let's get started. All right, so several things that you're gonna need here to do this is a fid. And all this is a knitting needle that I've cut off at a 45-degree angle. And I'll show you how you're gonna use that here in a little bit. You're gonna need some kind of pusher, and this is just another knitting needle that I picked up, and it's just a really long, skinny one that'll fit inside this fid to push stuff through when it gets tough. Tape measure. You're gonna need a pair of scissors. You're gonna need some electrical tape. You're gonna need a lighter, and you're gonna need some 3/8 inch shrink tube and a silver or like a white marker or something that's gonna show up on this Amsteel. And then you're gonna need some elastic string, and you can just get this at Hobby Lobby or something like that. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I'll do here is I'm gonna take the tip of my Amsteel, and I'm gonna kind of split all these strands apart. This is like a 12-strand rope. So then what I'll do is I'll take scissors, and you're gonna need a pretty sharp pair of scissors here, but I'm gonna cut off 6 of these strands just to kind of help taper it. And you'll see in a little bit how that helps. Now you got your nice little faded tapered end. All right, and then what I'll do is I'll take my tape measure. I'm gonna measure 9 inches about. Take my marker. This isn't an exact science. You don't gotta do it exactly 9 inches, but about 9 inches, I would say. And then what I'll do is I'll take the stick that I'm trying to put this on, and I will kind of try to guess what size loop I want. So you see I have my mark here. I'm just gonna kind of get it to the point where it's tight enough, I think, you know, it's not gonna come off. And I've done this a few times, so I know that's about the size loop I want for these double steps, something that my finger fits in pretty well. I want a tight fit so it's not gonna come off in the woods while you're hanging it or, you know, messing with it. So right about there, I would say. And then what I'll do with that is take my marker again, and I'll mark the loop here on the back side where it crosses, okay? So now what I'll do is I'm gonna take my fid, all right? I'm gonna take this first mark here furthest away from the tip, and I'm gonna puff it up. I'm gonna shove my fid through, like so. I'm gonna stick these ends in, go through. Okay. All the way up to here. All right. Now you can see where that mark, my second mark is. I want it to be right about there. All right. And then what I'll do is puff up this mark. All right. And that's where I want this to stop. Okay. That was my second mark. This is where I want this part of the rope. I don't want it to slide down here. So what I'm going to do is shove my fid through here, just like so. I'm going to take the long tag end of my rope and pull it through like so. And what that's going to do is give you your nice figure 8 there. And then you're just going to pull this sucker tight. Before we get too far, let's just make sure that fits, and she does. Alright, that worked out. So next, all I'm gonna do, and this is the tough part, you're gonna puff up the rope. We're gonna bury this tag end. So we're gonna puff up this rope here and find a way in that is kind of right below, you know, where this rope comes out. So you want to keep everything like kind of in line, if that makes sense. This gets a little, you need a little bit of elbow grease here. All right. So now what you're gonna do is get this all rolled up nice, shove it in here. This is where your pusher comes in. Okay, I'm gonna stick this in here. And then I'm just gonna push it all the way through. It's a little bit of work because you're pushing two things through, but once you get it through, like so, you're gonna pull your pusher back. That's gonna come out. So now you're gonna make sure you pull this really tight, okay? And now, all you do is kind of milk the line until your tag line disappears. And then you have a perfect loop for your Amsteel rope. Now that that part's done, we gotta have a way to kind of finish off this end. That's what the shrink tube and the elastic is going to be for. We're going to make something that looks a little like this. So, which isn't too difficult. And all I'm going to do is wrap it up how I'm going to wrap it when I'm hunting and kind of stop it, you know, 2 or 3 inches short, depending on how long you want your elastic piece to be. That's about how long I want it. I'm going to leave this tag end here for the time being. What I'm going to do is take some electrical tape and wrap this up really good. So now that I have that wrapped up really good, all I'm going to do is take my X-Acto knife and cut it off. And all that does is just kind of keep the end from fraying. Next, what I'll do is grab a piece of 3/8 inch shrink tube. I don't need a piece 3 inches long. About 2 inches is what I've been doing, so I'll just cut about 1 inch off there. Save that for another project. Trust me, don't forget to do this. I found it's much easier to do the shrink tube if you put it on first. I actually have a fid made up for doing this part. I believe it's 6.5 millimeters. Works pretty good for this application. So what I'll do here is kind of find a spot to pop in, and then I'll just pop right back out, just like so. I'll take my elastic, slide it through, And then I will do the same thing on the other side. And all this does is give the elastic something to kind of hang on to. I'm going to end up tying it. Pull that through, the elastic comes through, okay? And then I'll put a really good overhand knot in it. Try to really cinch it down here. An elastic's kind of hard to tie a knot into for sure, so. And with this stuff I found that if you tie too big of a knot, you'll have trouble with the shrink wrap. So once you get that done, as you can see, the little elastic piece is right there. What I'll do is I'll cut these pieces of elastic, get them out of the way. So what I usually do is I'll grab a little more electric tape, and we're going to cut this a little shorter. I'm going to put the tape right around the rope, right where the elastic comes out of the rope. Okay, I'm going to cut it pretty tight, pretty flush to the elastic. Okay, so I just got a little piece of tape holding that end of that rope together. Then I'll take some more electrical tape, and what I'll do is I'll go between the elastic just like that. Alright, so now we have to get this tubing up onto here, which can be a chore, I will say. And when you get to about there, I don't have a heat gun or anything, so usually what I'll do is I'll kind of take a little electrical tape to kind of protect the Amsteel here. Take my lighter and shrink it up. I'll just give it a minute to cool down here. Pull this electrical tape off. And there you go. Just like so. So now we have a Amsteel rope. That I can put around my stick. A little piece of elastic. And there you go. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you learned something. Give it a try if you're interested in these Amsteel rope mods. I'm going to have a video here coming up shortly. I'll show you how these perform in the field, and I'm going to put them up against a bunch of different methods, so stay tuned for that video. But yeah, this is the mods for the Lone Wolf Custom Gear double steps that I use. Quiet it down, longer ropes. They still stack together. Let me show you that. Still with these ropes, it actually still stacks together. They still stack together really well with all the rope mods on it, with the Amsteel 1/4 inch still on it. Very nice. Very nice little package. I really like them. But yeah, I hope you guys try it out if you're interested. I do just want to say do this at your own risk, because, you know, climbing trees is a dangerous thing. Making your own equipment to do so is, you know, even more dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you got something out of it. If you liked anything about this video, please think about subscribing to my channel. It really helps me out. Hit the like button down below. If you have any comments or anything you want to say, like, hey, you're stupid, you shouldn't be doing it that way, put a comment down below. Please let me know, and we will see you guys on the next one.
you.